Okay, card time. Well, I can't remember which one. I know it was an Autobot Arc. I got a bunch of them. Take a look at this one. The Arc itself. Okay, so it's not that one. That's Wave 3. This is a Wave 2 character, so it's got to be this one. Oh, it's another Arc. Autobot Arc. Is it this one? Ah, the Arc crashing. That's must have been the one I got. Very cool. The stack pile continues. Exile Prime here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Kingdom, Ractonite. And if you're new around here, please remember to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and let's dive right into this review. So here's the box. He's a Predacon. Nice, beautiful artwork right here for robot mode. Styracosaurus, fossilized, interesting. And this is a Predacon. The box art is as follows: 16 steps. He's a weaponizer. He doesn't really transform or anything like that. He's going to be one of those kind of gimmick type bots, but I like the skeletal fossilizer thing, so let's take a closer look at it. And here we have Ractonite, and he looks fantastic in his beast mode, fossilizer, Styracosaurus mode. We're just going to call it that. And he looks fantastic. They did give this guy some good articulation and everything. He can open and close his mouth. He does have a peg in the inside so you can use as a blast effect. Looks pretty good. He can move his head up and down. He can turn his head all the way around with a full 360. It's pretty good. The molded detail, the painting and everything like that, they did a really good job on this figure. So the tail has some articulation as well. The legs, though, it's a little weird, as you can see. And we'll just get a little closer look right there. And as you can see, it's real weird. Like, his front legs are, like, not long enough or something. But if you straighten them out and everything, then you kind of have that right. But, hey, it is what it is. I know this is you pull them apart to make them into a robot or weapons, shield, so on and so forth, bone armor, or whatever you want to go with. So, but overall, I think they did a good job on this mode. I like the red eyes. I think it's pretty cool. Nice Predacon logo right there. It's pretty cool. And here we have vertebrae next to Ractonite, just to give an idea of how scaling from core class to deluxe in this fossilizer mode. So far, this is what I've had for my collection. So, pretty good. So we're just going to move vertebrae out of the way. And we're going to get right into the transformation, the robot mode. We're just going to remove all the pieces. Just keep it simple. And this is how you transform it. It's not a regular transformer. This pegs in right there, just popped out already. Leave it down like that. I'm going to separate everything just to keep it really, really simple. Here's the main body. So these are all the pieces to get this into robot mode. So, just gonna move. Let's get that ready. Gonna need that. But yeah, there we go. This goes right here, just like that. Looks good. Gonna pop up right here so you can reveal his eyes and his face. Looks pretty good. This piece just goes on right here, just like that. And the way you know if you have it right, because you have the small pins on the one side versus the big side of the pins and a screw there plus a little small peg hole for some reason. So switch around just like that. This is going to be an arm. Peg it in just like that. And yes, he doesn't have hands. It's like dinosaur feet right here. So he has pegs also right here as well. So this is what it's going to look like so far. Just make sure the screw is on the inside. Also the hollowness. Looks Looks pretty good so far. He's not the biggest bot, but he's kind of chunky. I'm gonna fold this in, just like that. Bring this around. Just like this. Peg it in. Forms his arm and shoulder part. Rest of his arm. Elbow. Just like that. Looks like I got these swapped out. Just swap them. There we go. Yeah. There we go. And then finally add the tail, the bone tail for like a sword or a little dagger, whatever how you want to measure that up as. But overall, it looks fantastic. So there is Ractonite in robot mode. And I gotta say, he gets some range with this arm, but for the other arm, not as much. So there's a little bit of limitations there, but due to the gimmick and everything, what you're doing, it's still pretty cool. I actually like him in robot mode. It's where the other gimmicks, we'll get into that in a little bit, that's where it gets a little weird. And some of my pegs, like this likes to tab in perfectly for this, but these come off pretty easily. So some of those gimmicks are a little iffy at best. But I gotta say, they did a pretty good job with them, and looks fantastic. The articulation is as follows: full 360. He gets mega range like I just showed. Yep. This arm is kinda, yeah, just that, and he can bend his elbow. It's right here, and he does have wrist articulation and everything at that hinge as well. Does get the peg. You want to put this sword over here. Full 360 at the waist. Knee articulation. Ankle articulation. You can do the full splits, obviously. The face sculpt is as follows. The head is on a full 360. And then get some lighting in there. Nice red eyes, black mouth, a little bit of molded detail in there. Looks pretty good. Did a good job on this robot mode. I think that's how I'm going to present him on my shelf. And here I have Vertebrake with Ractonite in robot mode. It's just to give an idea of the scaling in core class to a deluxe. Here we have Ractonite separated, ready to go to form some of these weapons. And I have Huffer here, just like he is in the instructions, which you can use anybody you want. But I thought bring Huffer in, just give him some extra screen time here. But overall, I'm just going to make this weird looking hammer thing. I think that's right, yep. But overall, you're not going to use all the pieces. There we go. So that's in all the way of Ractonite for this particular build. Let's see. Yep, just like that. This is one of the most weirdest things since the weaponizers and the Micromasters combining and everything like that. Just a bunch of weird stuff. I think this is it. Really? This is supposed to be like a hammer? Okay. Alright. I think I'm missing a piece here. No? No, that's the hammer. Just straighten this out just so. It's supposed to peg into his hand, but this thing weighs so much, like it's just gonna... these gimmicks. And let's see, let's get a adjustment. So basically I can just go like that and it's gonna dump. So this is what you're working with here. Okay, so be right back. Alright, so Ultra Magnus, which is a leader class, and he's a big chunky guy, he can hold the hammer without it like tipping forward or anything like that. I know the joints are going to want to do that right here. But overall, his arm can actually hold it. Versus Huffer just... I don't understand why they even put him in here. They should have just used a leader class. But hey, what do I know? So, take a look at another gimmick. Alright, for gimmick number 2. This is a little bit, like, better, I think. So, we're going to keep Ultra Magnus here. Because he's, just in case, because I don't need Huffer falling over with the weapon. It's just a little redonkulous that this is what they're going with at this point. I was a little disappointed with that. So, a deluxe can't really hold the weight of it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so that one stays in for this one. I'm sorry. So let's leave that there. Take these out. Peg these into this. Into his feet. Just like that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Like a spear or something. Okay, alright. Then you're going to use this. If I can get a hold of it. Interesting. Just going to peg them in. Like that. Yeah, I just created a spear, and this ain't even in the instructions. Cool. I'd rather just use this. Let's just do this. I mean, God, at least this, he can freaking wield it. God forbid, like, he's so much taller, so I got just the camera, but... Yeah, I mean, a spear. It's not even part of the instructions. There, new gimmick. I actually like that. It's like freaking, Monster Hunter or something. It's messed up. Okay, so next, following that, so use one of these guys, peg this in, okay, just readjust, straighten it out, peg it in. Now this part is going to go to the back, because this is going to go like this. Is that correct? Yeah, toes up. Okay, so like this, and then this is going to do some weird thing like that. And see, this is the problem I have. These things don't like to stay pegged in, so it's kind of loose. So we're going to use Ultra Magnus for this as well. It's probably the worst idea I've seen so far with this gimmick. If I can... No. Yeah, we're going to fight with it. Okay, it's in. Bring these around. We got the gimmick. Even though Ultra Magnus was never around for this because he died in Siege, which is a big disappointment. Then overall, you're going to just extend this out, take tail piece. These pegs just don't want to cooperate today. Then this other leg, peg this in. The other way, yep. And it should like lock in, which I think it did. Okay, so you just do this, that, and that's a little weird because the instructions show this part up, but this is the way you peg it in. Eh? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go with that. Here. So now the pegs are like hard to get into the hands of these guys, but they don't work well with... Okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So, this is the dumbest thing ever. Excuse me, but that's just how I feel about this. But, hey, it is what it is. This is what they want us to do. Well, we're going to do it. So, what's this thing for? So, this just gets mounted on the side of his shoulder? Are you serious? Doesn't even do anything? Okay, move the missile. I think that's more important. But hey, let's just, you know what? Let's just have it in here. He's a bigger guy. He needs that. Yep. And this thing is, just goes right here. I guess this is the shield. There. Yeah. Yeah, this is a something. I don't know what this something is, but it's a something. So, yeah, so there's that gimmick. Yeah, I would not put this on my shelf. It's interesting, but not for me. Maybe for somebody else. Kids just messing around playing with these things? Sure, no problem. let's take a look at the next one. For the final mode, well, it doesn't look like you use all the pieces, so let's take a look, see what we can do. So you remove all the horns off the skull head right here. No big deal there. I got them laying right there. Easy enough. Next, you're gonna take the skull head. You're gonna take a foot. I think it's a foot. Or is that an arm? It looks like an arm. Gonna take an arm. Gonna put the peg back through. Get that through. Okay, we'll just use that to push. Like that. Feet up. No, feet down. Okay. Easy enough. Very simple. Straighten this out. Then you're just gonna need the tail piece. And now you have a actually, I like that. It's a skull sword. Interesting. Okay, we're going to leave that to the side for the moment. Next up is the final other gimmick thing. You're going to need the body of Ractonite. And you're going to need the spikes. So the small horn goes up at the top. Pop that in. And I notice as I'm messing with these horns and everything, the paint's wearing off. So that's a disappointment there. If I'd have known that, I probably wouldn't have removed them as much and probably wouldn't have done this. But hey, still got to test it out and see if this is worth doing or not. So still interesting, but not my most favorite thing. Like that. Just double checking here because it's a little weird. Yeah, that is. Huh. Okay. Wait, that can't be the whole thing. Yeah, that is. That's the whole thing. You don't use any of the other pieces. So everything else is laying here. You don't use this stuff. None of it. Terrible gimmick. Okay, so there's the other weapon. Now, I think the one piece is on the wrong spot. Yes, we are going to bring in the instructions. So, just make sure I'm not seeing this wrong. So that piece, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, besides I just turn this, that way, or the other way, whatever. So yeah, so okay, let's just peg this in the Ultra Magnus. This is the, okay, we're going to put that in the other hand. We're going to put that over here. And we're going to see this in a second. We're going to see the finalized version of it. Okay. But this is what you're looking at when it's all said and done. Some weird Monster Hunter gimmick that they should have never done in the first place. Maybe. Yeah, sort of like. This thing, it's like a spike mallet kind of thing. I don't know. It's interesting. I like that sword, though. And I like that spear I just came up with out of nowhere. That wasn't even in the instructions, so. Cool enough. My final thoughts on Transformers Kingdom Ractonite. Overall, I'm a big fan of dinosaurs, just in general. So Jurassic Park was a big inspiration of all that kind of stuff, especially when Beast Wars hit the screen a couple years later after that. So I was all hyped up about that. The Ractonite overall is a Styracosaurus in its skeleton beast mode. Looks fantastic. The range and motion for this arm, just for his sword and everything, and you can move this over to this other peg if you want, but this is where it's supposed to be. Great figure. Overall, some of the gimmicks I didn't care for, but overall, some were pretty cool. The one I came up with was just that spear with the legs. I thought that was pretty neat. The hammer thing, when I was using Huffer, that's a little bit of a bummer. It could have been a weak elbow joint on my figure, but who knows? It is what it is. Ultra Magnus took care of all that. But overall, I'm not the biggest fan of these fossilizers when it comes to taking them apart and moving them all around and trying to come up with these weapon scenarios and stuff. I think that's, especially when it wasn't even in Kingdom. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But overall, the figure itself, the representation of what they're trying to do with the gimmick itself is awesome. I like how the paint applications are on this figure. They did a great job. It does look like they're actual bones for this guy. Great. A great addition to the Predacon army for Beast Wars, or should I say Kingdom, even though he was a no-show. So this is how I'm going to place my guy on my shelf with the rest of my Predacons. So overall, fantastic. I like how we're creating new characters for Transformers, and that is a very important thing. Can't keep doing all the old stuff without bringing in some new. I understand why. It's great. So overall, if you can find this figure on your shelf, pick him up. He's still pretty cool. It's just my opinion on the gimmick and everything is just not the best, but I will continue to pick these guys up because when it comes to dinosaur stuff, I gotta get them. So that's going to be it for the review. Thank you for watching.